Welcome to day 4 of 12 Days of Anime, and today we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia. So in a world where heroes are actually a thing, you know, similar to like Avengers, since it's the most popular thing now, it's where heroes are more common and everyday people know they are a thing, and it's just natural to see heroes come in and take out bad guys. Okay, so in the world, what these people, like these heroes, in this world, these heroes in this world, the heroes, their abilities are what people most commonly call quirks. And usually, majority of the populace is starting to develop these quirks from birth, and some don't, so then they also... People have been being born by quirks around since, I'd say, like, if I remember correctly, they dated all the way back around, like, the 2000s or so. And it's become a common thing, kind of like the X-Men with how they have their abilities and they go to school and everything, just as people who have quirks go to school also. But they later shift into certain colleges that they decide to, if they want to determine if they want to choose to go to become a hero and everything like that. Or if you don't have a quirk, you can choose to go to a college where it deals more on any other kind of job, you know, field that you feel like. That doesn't involve needing a quirk, such as policeman, firefighter, and all that, if you still want to be a hero in general. Now, our main character is Suzuki Midoriya. Yeah, hopefully I pronounced that. Or his nickname is Deku. And he, and his whole class, was born without a quirk. So, throughout his childhood, he was always dreamt of being a hero and becoming strong and all that because of his fascination with this hero called All Might, which to me is like kind of a mixture of like Captain America and Superman almost. It's unique because he's like super strong and also very fast. He can jump far, or I believe fly, or it could just be his jumping. No, it's flying. Yeah, definitely flying. And he also is kind of like the icon of hope for the world. And that's what everybody strives to be, is someone as great and powerful as All Might. Kind of similar to Captain America, as I was saying, a symbol of hope.
Are you saying Superman isn't a symbol of hope?
Yeah, but I don't like Superman, so it doesn't matter.
Andy. Superman's awesome.
Katsuki Bakakago. I believe I butchered that, but he Midoriya nicknames his friend also Ka-chan for short. And Ka-chan, they really aren't much friends. They were friends when they were like little kids, but then they kind of grew, and Ka-chan had the ability of fire and was very determined, hot-headed, and he kind of just thought of himself higher and above everyone else, even in his class, and he treated people who were below him and like trash and bullied them and all that kind of usual stuff. Even though there's heroes in the world, there's still bullying in these schools somehow. But he also wants to strive to become a hero, even though he is kind of mean. But Deku and him are wanting to also go to the same school, and that's where the plot, where like the main story comes in. They basically strive to become something big, to become heroes in this world, and strive hard to accomplish their goals and go to this school, which is... I forgot the name of the school. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Hold on, I got it. Middle school, blah blah, quirks, blah blah, boy, Katsu, All Might, quirk. UA High School. I don't know, but it's UA High School that they're attending now, and the way that they achieve to get into there is they have to go through a special exam, which also exerts their mental capacity and also their physical abilities, and how they can use them to overcome difficulties such as villains of sorts. But in this, it's more or less a strength-wise, because they end up going against robots for points. But the way how Midoriya gains his abilities is through All Might, which it's kind of a little bit of a, you know, a spoiler, but he gains his power through a way of All Might, and All Might has come to a point where he can't uphold the throne of being the hope in this world anymore, and he needed someone to pass on his abilities. Even though he still keeps his abilities of what he has, he's just passing it on through Midoriya. And his body can't naturally handle the amount of tremendous power that's inside of him. So he has to go about physical training, and there's actually a cool like training montage video that they add in there. So I think that's kind of hilarious about how they went about that, because it gives you that old 90s feel, or kind of 80s, 90s shonen feel. And it also just all around in general has that feel due to the fact of good action, good rivalry, and just all around good humor. And it doesn't overdo it with fan service, and I'm kind of glad about that. Each character has unique different powers that just blows the main characters away far off. Like you look at the main characters, okay, you get Kacchan and Deku, and you're like, wow, they're pretty cool. And then you see the rest of their class, and you see all the different abilities they have, and you're like, wow, they can easily get beat by their own members. And then the teachers are like top tier, phenomenal. The art animation adds that comic book vibe to it. You know, that old dot art style of like classic 90s comics. I don't believe they use that same comic book style nowadays, or unless the certain artist wants to go that route. But I know back in the day, it's that good old-fashioned classic comic book art style. The way the prominent of how the characters come about is kind of similar to like Attack on Titan, where they outline to kind of like get the animation of the characters' characteristics to pop out more. The action's really great. There's funny moments in there, such as All Might's special moves, like Delaware Smash, Texas Smash, Detroit Smash. Like, can all of his moves be consisting of just states? I mean, I kind of like that, but you know, it kind of gets a little subtle once he hits that 50, is it 50 or 51 states?
I don't know, you tell me.
I'm going with 50, just so I yeah, I live in America, I don't know my own country. But I sure do know anime, and this was a very decent anime. It's by the studio called Bones. You know them best for Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Space Dandy, like come on, Rosario Vampire. So that's like, they're known for okay, and then they're known for these top tier animes. So you definitely got to check it out. It's enjoyable. It's a treat. The first season, though, with how it goes about with bringing in the villains, it didn't do well with me because it had no, like, what's the word I want to use? No, like, it didn't tease anything about the villains at all, except for like one little scene which comes around like late into the season, which is around like episode 8. It doesn't like build up on the villains, is what I mean. So you don't really know who they are, except for like, oh, you get this one little scene with these two villains talking, you're like, okay, they're villains. And then they come in at the very last bit, and then they beat up a bunch of people, and beat up on the students and the teachers, and you're like, okay, well, I hope they explain more why these villains are doing this, but it kind of explicitly states why these villains are doing this, but it doesn't give much detail of how they become villains, how they began their organization of villains. Now, I'm hoping that's going to be, you know, brought up in Season 2, most likely it will, but honestly, this season was great. The voice acting, I've watched the English dub and Japanese dub, both are fine. I recommend either. I kind of recommend the English sub for this, or the Japanese dub better. But, all in all, I would give this like 7 out of 10. Because there's like a lot of faults. It sped up pretty good. It was more of a series that would have been dealt better of accomplishing a lot more in this one season if they would have just done a 24 episode season and then come on that kind of route. But since they had the 13 episodes and kind of went about it just the way they did, I quite enjoyed it. Besides that, the soundtrack's epic, the characters are great, humor's great, and it's just a great shonen for this year, or this prominent year. And I'm quite happy, I'm quite glad that they're coming out with a second season of this, because I think it's going to build up pretty well after what we're going to be getting this next season, but still, But that's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed this recommendation.